Hi, everybody. It's Rob from Insurance Made Simple, helping to simplify life insurance for you and for your family. Today, I'm sharing a Zoom interview that I did with Shanan. Shannon is the second oldest of four children who recently lost her father after a courageous battle with liver cancer. Now, a number of years before, Dad had canceled his life insurance policy when the money got tight. And I don't think that they probably realized the implications that that decision would have, not only on the family, on the kids, but on mom as well. And mom being able to maintain a lifestyle that I am sure dad would have wanted for her to have. And today you can hear how this has impacted Shannon and her family.
Is insurance is there to save you when you have a crisis. And not thinking about the crisis, not planning for the crisis doesn't mean it won't happen. If there had been some insurance in place, mom's stress would be less knowing that she has more than what her bills are to live on every month. And the rest of us would be less stressed because the reality is my older sister and I, um, being the oldest two siblings, the two of us feel a responsibility to take care of mom financially. So we know at some point we will have to cover costs. I have a 7 and a 9-year old now that I have to plan for their future, but I also know that I have to have money available in case mom needs to get bailed out. So it sucks not having a buffer. It would have been nice if dad had left, if they had not canceled all their insurance and if they had something, just a little something to tuck away and even just to live off of the interest. If mom could live off of a little bit of interest, it would have made all the difference in her lifestyle right now and our stress levels. Her stress level, our stress levels, everybody's stress level. Worrying about financials, especially for your mom. Ugh, it's horrible. My mom is struggling to live financially off of the government, and she is trying to stretch the proceeds from the house. Um, but she was 67 when dad died. She's turned 70 this year, and I don't know that it actually made any sense to her, and she knew it wasn't great, but and she couldn't even string the next few thoughts together, right? Like, okay, so he's going to die and then what? Like she literally could not get past. My parents were the modern fairy tale. They had this amazing love, and to think of him leaving this world, she couldn't do it. She couldn't get past that moment of at some point he will no longer be here and there will be tasks, there will be things to do. No, we couldn't even have those conversations with her. It was awful.
And
What the hell are we gonna do? Can we get a will done? We had 3 years. Did we get the will done? No. Should we have? Absolutely. Why didn't we? Because when you have someone who's sick and in pain, how do you be like, "Dad, you have to sign a will. Just sign this paper. Let's just print something off of the internet. Let's just sign something." It just doesn't happen. And he was a crazy procrastinator, so and it was too late to actually get a will done and do all the things at that point. He was too sick, so he slept a lot, and when he was awake, he was in pain and doing the adulting things of preparing a will, and yeah, and he certainly obviously wouldn't qualify for any life insurance then once that happened. So to avoid the situation that my parents ended up in with no pensions, no benefits, living off of the government, and having to cancel their insurance because they couldn't afford the monthly payments. So I have savings, unlike my parents. I have lots of insurance, unlike my parents, because even as I started my business and money was tight, I promised myself that I would never ever cancel my life insurance. And I have policies on my kids because it's so much better to buy them when they're young, when there's no health risks, and they will have those policy. I will pay for those policies forever. um, until they if they want to inherit them, they will always have policies. So, you to this day, as much as I have struggled in my first couple years of business, as everybody does, um, I have my policies in place. I will never, ever let those policies lapse. So that is definitely a reaction, a learning I take from my parents' experience is yes, insurance is one of those things that it's it's not an option. But I've always been an insurance person, right? I spoke about in my 20s before parents said, "We're canceling this policy unless you want to take it over." And I said, "No, I want it. I will take it. I will be the policy holder. I will be responsible for that." Because I see the value in the insurance. I have always understood, and I think it's probably because I'm risk averse. And I know not everyone is, but the reality is insurance is there to save you when you have a crisis. And not thinking about the crisis, not planning for the crisis, doesn't mean it won't happen. My youngest sister was married, her first marriage, they had just bought critical illness insurance, and her husband, he had an aneurysm and he almost died, but he didn't die, but he was impacted. He was unable to do his job afterwards because he had paralysis on his left side. They had critical illness insurance, so he was okay because they had that critical illness insurance. And this happened in his 30s. You never know. And this is the thing. If they didn't have illness insurance, they would have had to sell their house, but they didn't. The bills were covered because their insurance kicked in. It was amazing. So my sister was able just to focus on getting her husband better. And that is the whole point of insurance is here, we'll take care of the finances so you can deal with life. From what I have seen and from the million stories that I've experienced and heard and seen the people that I love and care about experience is when you have these crises, that is why insurance is there so that there's one less thing to worry about because when you're grieving the loss of someone, you don't want to have to sell a house. It would be nice if those bills were paid. Maybe not permanently, even for a year, something, just a little something. It would make all of the difference in the world. In my opinion, that's why everybody needs insurance. So